Hello, everybody. Um, I was planning to do live on my own, but turned out that me and Paulina, we're gonna do it and answer at this because of today, and I am to inflame the group. Uh, we have this question that nobody's been talking about, and so on and so on. Actually, she and I we talk about it, and we went through this journey today, and we actually had an opportunity to both of us comes alive. So I changed the link, but it is beautiful because those questions, those ask about what happens within the journey, what is it going on within this, and the questions I'm going to bring them up in a little bit. But we're talking about like those questions is about the journey when you actually learning that your twin flame that you taught and so on are those people who wake you up. And what do you do with all this? What do you do with all these energies? And it's good that we're coming up with this because it is different when you learn from people who just bring you knowledge. But talking about it, me and Paulina, we are both what awakened from that catalyst, that twin flame journey, and so on and so on. But she and I went through this, and we will give it a shot today to give you the best explanations that we can. And with that being said, I'm gonna be giving you the mic into Paulina.
Thank you, Leo. Is
Uh,
there the question that I could read, or
I'm
we
just
can read
gonna
it
bring it up
after?
in a pretty second. I'm
Okay,
gonna begin to read them.
so I will just.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
that's okay. I will just make an introduction. I see Lorna is in the chat, so you found the right link. I'm happy to see you here.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just
I remember that many people are having issues when they are dealing with these catalytic experiences, and it just comes down to these wrong definitions. Like if you try to define your journey and try to find and put definitions on specific people you are meeting along the journey, you will get confused because it's honestly the whole truth is not revealed to you until you reach a certain point. It's just as you progress along the journey and you're trying to get to this graduation stage, or just overcome this issue, that just to remove any kind of limits that you're putting on yourself, more understanding will be revealed to you. It doesn't mean that you will understand everything, but you will start seeing those things from different perspective, and you will start seeing this journey as less personal, focus on one specific person, and you will just start seeing how it's all connected. Honestly, the whole gather of those soul connections will start coming into place, and it will get sometimes even more confusing, even more messy. And we'll be talking a little bit more, giving our personal experiences and our examples, so hopefully it will be more clear for all of you.
yeah. Hopefully, you guys gonna get out of this. I know that it has been not only need for this that we're doing it right now, but also some of the people who are um, abandoned the journey or the other person don't want it to work with them. There is a lot of drama and a trauma at the same time with this, and it's needed to be understand that before we begin to talk in there, what is your correlations within your psychological power, your philosophical power within yourself, and your spirituality? They all correlated in there. And we went through a lot of things that we had to really to understand that sometimes the things is not the way they are. And the reality is more harsh than you thought. But when you look at it within the journey and you begin to realize certain things, then certain things are coming in. So I'm going to begin to read the first questions in there. Um, what happened if you are introduced to all this twin flame stuff to someone whom you have mistaken for your twin and ended up being a catalyst, karmic, some type of a soul tie? That was the first questions and this. So, darling, do you want me to talk or you're gonna talk?
Yeah, you can start.
All right. So what happened is you can take my personal story. It's been in the YouTube for years and years and years. But what happens in there through that whole this story of awakening, even though the awakening was a public progress process, a lot of people knew it. They saw it. They were involved into it. And the worst part was in there that it came to a point that this connection had to be cut, had to be stopped, had to get in there to a point of you to understand there is no evolutions of that as an awakening. It then it begins that part inside of you of this awakening process. What's next? What I need to do next? What I have to do this? What is this all about? You begin in the level of investigator. You begin to go through forums. You begin to getting energies. You begin to understand within yourself. The good part within this is that, let's say I was wise enough and at the same time I was dumb enough, and I'll tell you why I'm saying wise and a dumb. I was wise enough to living into my truth. Dumb enough is that I was not evolved enough back in the days, but wise enough to go ahead and bring this. We were talking with Wolf back in the days when we were building all this for Twin Flames. Most of the people thought that we are crazy, we are nuts, and so on and so on within all this. But you have to understand that this journey of awakening for it, you just getting at those stuff because you're ready to evolve and to go on, not into inflame relationship. We were having a fun yesterday with Wolf. Not twin flame relationship. It is a twin flame journey. You to become the twin flame. And I spoke about this, about it. When you getting this to this catalyst, karmic or some other types in there, you begin to understand that at some point that connection cannot be progressing for whatever reasons. The reasons can be many. The reasons can be emotional situations. The reasons can be a lack of communications. The reasons could be involvement in the third parties. The reasons could be divine only sparked it up, and then what does it happen with the spark? Spark of love. You ever heard about the 90 days? After the 90 days, if it, the love passing through, then is it true love? Right. That's a psychology fact. But we're talking about that when you have this karmic type and you are codependent on that love and you're looking at that love in there, that love is just to awaken you up. Even if the connection goes through or it doesn't go through, the purpose of this is to awaken you up, to open your soul, to open up your eyes, to see different things. And the mistaken it's coming because you still have the knowledge that you have to be with this person in real life. You have to unify within you and so on and so on within there, because what missing is within you is within them. And they're like, oh, I was missing you all my life. Now come to me. And you become to chase them. But when you begin to chase them, they begin to run because you're pushing the energies in there. But instead of you become still and they become still, it's like, okay, let's see what we can do about all this. So you will end up, if you are end up within the separations and situations that wasn't correct, it wasn't right. What is your option? Your options is to continue to evolve as a twin flame, as a journey. You keep walking on the journey as a twin flame. So I'm gonna give the mic to Paulina. She's probably
Yeah, I had the energy rising. Uh, but coming back to this question, the person was asking and explained that, oh, this person made a mistake because someone mistake it for my twin. So I think it's just, I wanted to say that it's not a mistake. Like, I wouldn't call it a mistake. It's more Okay, I mislabeled because I tried, of course, to use the labels for that. But you know, it's not like you're making mistake if you think, oh, that was not a real love. Like every love that you experience on a soul level, you cannot deny. Like that's a true love that you felt. It just doesn't mean that you need to that it will continue to be towards this person, because the only reason you're feeling this love is you're able to develop it and give it to yourself, because it's you just have to direct it the proper way. So the only reason is that you feel, oh, that was a mistake, that was probably false twin flame or real twin flame, true twin flame. I don't believe in those labels, honestly. It's just whoever will come and or whoever will stay once you're real to yourself, that's your real twin flame. If I'm supposed to use any kind of labels, honestly, I feel all twin flame connections are real, because all they are all the soul connections. It just depends on which stage of development you are. So in this first catalytic experience, you're just not aware what happens, and very often they introduce you to this spirituality. Maybe they were spiritual, maybe you started researching with them this twin flame, what is this, and you kind of had a sense that it was, oh, there is a special connection. But if there is no awareness, you'll be lost in that, and you will put those, you will create this own your own bubble, and you will feel, oh, it's just for two of us and we are gonna be happy together, and you totally forget, or you're not aware of this energetic part of the connection. So I think that's one purpose on with these experiences, that they start you and they ignite you to the journey, but maybe you are not aware at this moment that it happens. So the only purpose of those catalytic experience, I would say, is just to show you the potential of the love that will be developed, and then you will be meeting next connections that will be bringing more and more awareness to the connection that is similar to your level, like depending on how much you've grown over the journey. uh, so that was just the introduction from me regarding how, there is no mistake in this journey. It's don't feel that, oh, I got it right, I didn't get it right, I made a mistake, I mislabeled. Probably that was not love. It was love on a soul level, and all of the bubble phases, that's the same energy you're feeling between you and another person. This is a source energy, this is love. So there was other questions in the chat, but I'm gonna maybe pass over to you for now.
Okay, it was 22-22 by me. So when you were talking and talking about this about it, like, first we're gonna talk about the questions for the video. Then I'm gonna start taking the questions. So if you guys can kind of like hold on for a few minutes about those questions, so we don't want to mix the one thing with another. Talking about that, the mistaking, it's very easy because of even talking about personally within me. There was this energy is like it's only about two of us. You begin to be obsessed, you begin to be angry, you become too agitated. But if you look at it, the catalyst, it comes in to push all your buttons of want is not healed from within you, and to say, go fix yourself. You're going on a journey. Don't obsess to me. Don't look at it to me. Don't codependent on me. Don't do it. This is like me. I just came to wake you up because the universe says it's your time, because you ask the universe to be awakened. Okay? So a lot of the mistaken of this spark or catalyst or we're talking about this, it comes in with this because you were missing that. But that moment of awakening in there, it is one of the most precious things. And you gotta be very thankful for the person who woke you up. Okay? But you gotta be thankful to the divine in there. You gotta be looking at inside of it and heal everything that it's related with this. Because if it is not healed, you're carrying it with you on the way forward to your journey to graduate the twin flame journey. We were talking about this. People have to begin to understand it's not a twin flame relationship. It is about twin flame journey of the soul. When you graduate and you're ready to have a spiritual relationship, then you're getting it. And you're gonna learn it within this, and we're talking about with Wolf about 10 years experience, but it's the same thing. We came to these realizations with Paulina internally within us because there is no movement. We were stuck in the mud. There is no movement. If you go to another connections, you go to another connections. Each one of them may be teaching us certain things, but when you go after that and you healed yourself, it's like, you know what? I learned the whole thing. I understand the whole thing. Then you find your peace. And you're ready to be on soul relationships from within. All right. The second question is you enter the rabbit hole, want to meet them and learn about this otherworldly, extraordinary love and a connection. And now you wonder how an other person will each match that type of intensity, even they weren't your real twin. When you're entering the rabbit hole and you meet them, do you really meet them? You meet their energy that triggers within you. They're not coming with you in the rabbit hole. They will come in a rabbit hole with you if they are in the journey next to you. But if they don't call you, they don't text you, there is no communications, they may be ignoring you or ghosting you, like you don't exist anymore in the world. Guess what? They're not in the rabbit hole with you. So you not meet them at the rabbit hole at all. You're in the rabbit hole on your own. This is your own journey. This is one big illusions that the people mistaking right there. That your twin flame is with you. Their energy that they spark in you is with you. Their energy, the exchange through the mirroring neurons they happen. So you feel like their presence is with you. But their presence as a 5D energies is within inside of you. That they're like, hey, I woke you up so you can go this way. I'm giving you directions. I give you all the download inside of you, you to move up. Talking about like extraordinary love and connection. Yes, it is extraordinary love and connection. But is it really extraordinary love? You look at it right now in that positions of when you mature and grow more within a soul relationship, of standpoint of a karmic and a 3D relationships is extraordinary love. When you actually mature that extraordinary love, you actually will understand the love. Your understanding about love is going to be even more about that. But what you're saying in there is like how you wonder how and any other person will ever match that type. I was wondering myself, somebody will match me. Let me tell you one more thing. There was energies coming to you that there was even more higher than the initial awakening. You can call it the bliss flames, you can call it a divine or whatever it is. You always have there's someone higher when you go to the journey. You meet with it. So there is gonna be a someone as long you keep walking in the journey. As long as you do your internal job of improving yourself, your inner work from within. And you're gonna be wondering if they were really your real twin flame. Let me tell you something. The real twin flame is next to you. They knows who you are. They brings you peace and the connections. And they are going with you and they say one key words in there. What can we do together? I'm next to you. They bring peace and the divine is there. Okay, the divine is there. But if you say, I'm only going to hold on to the spark, you're not going to see the fire from to yourself. You're not going to be able to evolve actually because you're stuck to the beginning. You haven't begun your journey, you're stuck in there. So back to you, darling.
Yeah, a little bit about this rabbit hole. I think exactly what happens during the bubble love, like we are totally in our emotional state. We are missing a lot of red flags. It's is one thing, but it's just we are going down, down, down this rabbit hole because we are getting lost in the connection. And then the more lower you go, at some point, it can happen that the separation will happen, and you will realize how much you are attached to this person, and then you're getting stuck because you have this fantasy of this amazing connection. Because as I said, this is real. Whatever you're feeling in this journey is real. It's more you try to put a face on the whole experience and on the energy that you experienced, and your mind is getting stuck, and you try to you're even getting afraid that, oh my god, I felt that only with this one person. What if I'm not gonna find anyone like that? And my question would be how long you want to be in this rabbit hole, and how long you want to really be dependent on this another person. Because as long as you want to be stuck in your journey, of course you can wait for 20 years, 30 years, and I could be in the same place. I didn't have an answer what in my original twin will want to go back, or I want to keep my options open. I want to stay open, just to be ready, just to wait for this person. But at some point I asked myself, what if not? What if I'm putting all my life for this waiting because it was divine sent, this connection, and I'm supposed to be stuck. But I kind of thought to myself that it's up to me how I want to go with this journey, and I don't want to wait with my life because I kind of understood it's not going anywhere. It took me, let's say, year and a half to really from the separation stage to do my work and also mature enough to say I'm done with waiting. Of course, like you're hoping to you have the sense that probably that person will give you this 100% of the energy that you experienced, but like there is no guarantee for that's your projection, how you've experienced that for the first time. But also remember, when the first time you experienced that, you were on high is so low, not low, but much lower level in terms of awareness and in terms of vibration. So if you've experienced from this lower state this high level source energy, of course it will feel like infinite power. But the more you're progressing on your journey, anytime you will experience this connection with the source, it will not feel as intense because the difference, you're just getting closer and closer, to just experience this source energy. So it's not like the next soul connections are less intense. It's just you've done your work, so you've progressed. So there is not such a shock in, like, there is no such a difference between the energy of pure love and the current state of or your energy. So that's something keep in mind. It's not like you can, of course you can get there. It's just the moment with next connections it may not feel as intense, but also because you've healed a lot. Very often the drama creates this intensity and chemistry and connections because we have those old patterns. So that's something worth mentioning.
Do you guys pay attention to her words? She said one thing very profound, and her words were, you're in the rabbit hole depending on them. Codependency in that. You need to understand a twin flame, and the reality of the twin flame is not to have codependency. The reason all these connections, like these ignitions and so on, is because of the codependency. You're unhealed if you have codependency, if you have all these traits within yourself. Your psyche is not right, your emotions is not right, your processing within yourself, your religion or your culture, whatever that might be. You're codependent on something. They to give you. You're codependent in there. There was the other day, there was a question says like, I only want my twin. I only have my twin, my twin, my twin, my twin. Stop calling it my twin. They're not your property because you treat them like a property. inside of you. They belong to you. And you're in a rabbit hole, you're depending on them. Data comes in and they can take you out of the rabbit hole. They don't want to come to the rabbit hole with you. It's not their rabbit hole. They just came to ignite you. Your twin flame will look at you they will find you in the rabbit hole. This is what I made at a quote today. That when you reach the right bottom, you will know how to build. But the right one is gonna find you in the rabbit hole, all broken down or in torn pieces. And it's like, yeah, I'm in a rabbit hole too. Let's put these things together. And Divine says, like, you guys are not in a rabbit hole. You guys are in the universe. That's a whole another thing I'm talking about someday, at some point. But talking about this rabbit hole, in the rabbit hole, you gotta get yourself out of this codependency. Okay? And when you reach out of the codependency, you stabilize yourself. Now you open up again for the love. What you don't pay attention to is that your energy is increased. And the original awakening, you are more higher. Every time after I had a soul connections, I reach higher. Every time I was putting down, every time I was, and so on. Every time that I stayed on the public, oh yeah, I got my twin flame, I got these connections, and so on and so on, and I got so pumped up, fired up, super excited. There was always something there. There was always something. It was a codependency. There was always something that it wasn't there. But I was moving up. I was moving up. I stopped being judged by the community or what a community will say and so on. That's what, I mean, can call me dumb and wise, but that's what I'm talking about it. But it's not good to know, too bad to talk about myself. But if you look at it in there, you gotta be a little bit dumb not to be interesting what the people can judge you. That is the good part of being in that positions. Um, so don't allow nobody, I mean exactly nobody, to judge your journey. They're not walking on your shoes. They're not in your rabbit hole, and they're not in there. But let me tell you, every time that comes in and happens to you, you're gonna be moving up. So basically, you're gonna create the steps that you get yourself out of the rabbit hole. All right. Yes, maybe at one point in your life you will meet someone good, caring, and loving, and there will be no hurt, just an easy following questions. But how you are not going to forget about this thing when your body went through an ecstasy? Hmm. Your body got awakened. That is this powering it up of the mirroring neurons. I actually study it. It shows up, talk about it, and I posted the pictures. What is that goes on? And during that mirroring neurons firing it up, it fires every neurons, new informations to every cell of your body. Every cell. That's what the ignition power is. You will never gonna forget this moment. And I talk about the video way back, who knows, maybe 3, 4 years ago, or I was explaining the replacement. It is a very similar. Do you still remember your first love as a kid? The boy or the girl that you love so much? And how beautiful they watch at you. And you remember their kid face. And you remember the moment that is imprinted within you. Oh, yeah, you do. Oh, yes, you do. The very first love. How about the very first love when you were a teenager? It's also there. You're always going to remember the person who woke you up in a soul. You're always going to get their energy. Their energy is there within you to guide you, to evolve you, and so on.
I will be commenting on that.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, maybe
Yes.
it's not their energy. I wouldn't want people to, it's not person's energy. We are just having this very improper habit to put the face on energy. So I think it's very important to understand, if you're sensing some experiences during your separation, and you sense this energy comes from the person, probably person sends me energy. I don't believe that's true. I think it's just okay, universe is speaking to you. You just have your internal connection, so you start feeling energies flowing through you. You're just rebuilding that. But just try not to put face, not to put name, not to associate anything that happens with your connection with specific person, because you have no idea. Maybe it's energy of another 10 different connections that you had on a soul level, if you really have to do that. So that's why I'm saying we have no idea. All of that happens to your journey, that you feel, this is your internal energy speaking to you. If we have to, I feel I have to clarify that, because it can also keep people, you know as much getting those reminders about the other person. It keeps you stuck as well, because you will be, oh my god, the universe doesn't allow me to forget about this person, so that means that I have to be in this journey just waiting for that one person, because that was my twin. So just a little clarification there.
Don't you love it? You see, the points that I see and the points that you see is the same thing. We have two different views, but we're not taking things personally. And this is how you're gonna have the sign of a healthy soul connection in there. And I always love when she corrects me. I love it. And talking about this in there, because the way the question was written there is about that energy of them about it. That's what
Okay,
I
because this
was,
person,
yeah.
it's again,
But we are
you
attaching to the person, but you are right. It's all about the energy of the universe that comes within you, but you understand that, the road, that.
Oh, but sometimes you have to, hear that from someone else, because I remember we were even talking about it. When you talk about past soul connections, if that triggers something, that it's some kind of sense, either grief or any kind of negativity, that means you're not at peace with any connection. And I kind of understood that with all those connections that come to us, you have to be able to make a peace. So if you, maybe that little trick that you need to do, instead of saying my twin, my, just say that connection. It's just there. Just leave this person out there. Maybe on an energetic level you were twins, because at that moment you were on the same level of frequency. But just try to impersonalize. Like, just don't treat that person and that connection so personal. It says that connection from the past was triggering that. If you were getting in this mind state that you have to analyze something about the connection, just keep it as impersonal as possible.
One more thing. That, by the way, thank you. That reminds her about that talk that you and I had about the previous connections and the lessons learning to it. Don't put them in the pedestal within you. So that way you forgive yourself. Don't put them as higher. It's like everything is about it. So on. For this, please. All right. The last questions. Am I crazy for thinking that nothing will ever satisfy me? Will I be looking forever for my real twin once I've taken a sip from bittersweet taste of how it's supposed to be like? Take a look at it like that. Am I crazy for thinking that nothing will ever satisfy me? If you think that nothing's gonna satisfy you, you're gonna be attracting like this. Because it's very important of philosophy side. What are you telling yourself? Because what you're telling yourself, it goes to your psyche. But what it's coming in from our philosophy comes from the spirituality, what you're telling yourself. And your psyche is affecting your spirituality from within you, your psychology situations. So you're not crazy, but the thing it is about sometimes the overthinking about this can lead you in a that rabbit holes mind situations. But if you think like I'm worth it to have this love, I'm worth it to experience that love, I am inside of it to build that love towards me, that self love that is going in, asking should receive. But there's gonna be a moment within yourself, like what she and I experienced it, is that at some point we were like, I'm not worried about it. If something's gonna happen, it's going to happen. But you have to take this um road of thinking about satisfied me. You have to learn to satisfy yourself, not thinking of this codependency that somebody has to comes in and satisfy you. This is why I suggesting you to, if you want to find yourself, pack your bags, go on a trip, go on a place you never been by yourself. You're gonna face yourself, but in that journey, you're gonna find yourself. I did that. Leah did this. It's probably the most beautiful thing that you can do about it. The next portion will be looking forever. I'll be looking forever for my real twin once I've taken a sip from this bitter twist of how it's supposed to be. It is about not how it's supposed to be. We are wrongly understanding how it's supposed to be. I was thinking how it's supposed to be back with the person that wake me up. Is that how it's supposed to be as a program to yourself? Is actually it's not how it's supposed to be. Is what you become you're supposed to become. Is the journey guidance. You to reach that state within yourself. Back to you, Dominic.
Yeah, I was just trying to put into my head, why the self-love is so important. And honestly, it all comes down to law of attraction, because the more you're able to put this internal love to yourself, of course it will be mirrored outside. So the universe will adjust. It's just a matter for you not to judge the way our things unfolding, because you can be sure that once you're able to get to this stage of self-love, and just imagine your twin, the person you call your original twin, is not able to create the experience here on earth for you to create a balanced relationship, the universe will be still working in the background just to bring this experience of love back to you, because you already feel it internally. So then the next stage is just to create this external environment of love. So just keep it in mind that it needs to start from internal, because whatever is within, that's without as well. So and outside. So that's just something to keep in mind, and not to judge, because we still have preferences, and we would be in the journey like, okay, I'm learning self-love. So then according to how I see the journey, my twin will be going back, because that's what they say. If I learn to do self-love, if I become in union with myself, my twin will be back. But what they feel is they see that specific person coming back. So what happens if once the universe start arranging things to really adjust and to bring this love environment to them, but it doesn't involve that specific person on the horizon, they're like, oh, it's not according how I imagined, it doesn't match my projections, my ideal vision for my life. So they will be rejecting whatever universe brings to them. So it's just a little bit of open mind is needed here, just and trust that the universe can bring you that love. You don't need person, honestly. It's just all you need is just have this peaceful environment that you are able to create inside. Just give yourself the chance to experience that externally and outside, based on whatever universe wants to bring to you.
Here's what she said. There's the energies that comes in to give you your projections. So inside of you, there is a projections of how it's supposed to be. And you see this beautiful picture within yourself, within your mind, within everything is like, oh, we are going to be talking and we're going to be talking and this is what's going to happen and we're going to solve all these situations and so on and so on. You see this beautiful thing and all of a sudden get in a text. Don't call me, don't text me, don't fax me, don't even make any energy projections towards me. I don't want to see you. And you're like, oops, what happens within me? Why did I have these visions? And what is this happening present? That's happening is there so you can focus within you in the journey within yourself, not on your own projections. Because as Paulina said, what is it within you? That's what goes outside out of it from within. All right, I think that do you have anything else to say about that portion? If not, we have some bunch of
No, just
questions.
just one note, and I put it in the chat because I feel it's always keep me back on track. You know, when those things happen and you see, okay, it doesn't align to my journey. I thought I'm gonna be bringing back together my twin. Maybe you won't get the person, you know, because just if you decide to align with your true purpose, your true purpose might not involve that person. So just forget about them. If they are meant to be on your soul path, that's amazing. They will go back. But if not, do you choose ascension or getting stuck and just imagining this love coming back to you with this specific person? So those are the questions you just have to ask yourself. And we are all free to be hanging on one person all our lives, or you can choose to ascend, you know, just to continue this journey because there is so much more after that, overcoming this limitation on and dependency on one specific connection.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's go through the questions. And we forgot to recognize the people who come in the chat. So I'm going to be recognizing them. Lorna, hi. Thank you for coming here. Real Katam, thank you for coming in. Donna Duran, thank you for coming in. Blue, thank you for coming in. Natu Show, thank you for coming in. Daschana, thank you for coming in. And that's all I see for right now in the chat. So, first question. Dana, does the real twin come in a more healed 10? If it is a high level soulmate that shows up, do they also have to go through the same stage? I also went through a catalyst. Does the real twin come in a more healed way? I would say yes and no. In a personal level, they're gonna be healed enough in there so they can be on their own. You feel like in your own, you're good enough, you healed enough, you work on yourself and so on. I say no, why? Because there is unhealed things when you are in a relationship. Some things you cannot heal until you are in a relationship. So don't think about it that when you get the real twin flame or you're getting into a real graduate soul connections in there, there's gonna be no issues. There will be issues. Even we'll talk about this yesterday. But talking about within this is your approach, your actions, your thinking, your wisdom. Everything is gonna come in, and that is gonna be a more healthier relationship. You're gonna find yourself in a healthy relationships partnership. You're not gonna be calling it a relationship anymore. The relationship is not gonna resonate even as the energy with yourself. You're gonna call it partnership because you're partners, not relation. A relationship, mother daughter relationship, son father's relationship, brother sister's relationship, friends relationship. Yeah, But you get it in there, the relationship is not gonna resonate with you. It's a high level of soulmate shows up, and they also go through the same stage. You're gonna go through the stages, but like this, because you know what to do. You know what to do. You're gonna go through the stages, and yeah, I also went through a catalyst. I'll go through a catalyst at some point. Darling,
Mhm.
Mike is yours.
Yeah, yeah, just to comment on that. I think it's again coming to this topic of real twin. It's just you'll attract the connection that matches your stage of development. So if you've done your work, you're more aware, you're more healthy, and you wish yourself the best, that's what you're gonna attract. So it's just you can call it real twin if you mean that real twin is a healthy person that you can build a healthy relationship without the drama and chasing and running. Yes, that's your real twin. And you will go through the same stages because you kind of have to repeat the lessons but the proper way with more awareness. So first in this until separation, you're going through twin flame stages but you have no idea what's going on. During separation you get awareness and contact, with divine guidance, let's say, along the way. And then after separation, so after attracting, then you're maybe the same, your twin that got separated before, or brand new person, you will be replaying twin flame stages but with this higher understanding and awareness. So that's the purpose why you have to replay the twin flame stages, just to check for you, are you ready, like have you learned your lesson and can you apply it. um
That was a very interesting because when we got through our stages in there, we were applying it, and we were like, okay, I had expectation you're gonna act like the old way, but you reacted the different way. This is gonna be a one sign that the right person's coming to you. They're gonna write in the right position. It's like, okay, if you wanna run, that's fine. I'm not chasing. Huh? If if that is the situations that you're gonna go through all the stages in there. It's like you know, let's say like I have expectation like something she will do. And I'm looking at myself as like, yo, this is all thinking. Don't have expectations. I have to give her the freedom. I give her the freedom to she can choose what she wants to do. But the more freedom I give it to her, the more she feels free. Not like, oh, she's belonged to me, she's mine. Okay. When you go through the stages again, and the illumination stage is very powerful.
can you explain illumination stage for people, like what do you mean by illumination?
The illumination stage is when as this part comes in, when you getting into, you already you illuminated before, but not at that level. Talking about the illuminations that explains the higher level of understanding the whole concept, universal concept, as everything as you are as energies. We're
Like a bigger
talking,
picture.
yeah, the bigger picture. You're gonna be giving these illuminations to a point that you're gonna start to understand everything from zero, the void, the creation, the power of creations, the void, universe relationships that is applying within you. All the energies that you're doing it. What is the purpose of all this? This illuminations is bigger than you can imagine with yourself in there. But when we're talking about these illuminations, it's coming in and also it's like, we know how this goes. You've been on that road. You're ready for that road. You hear that words from your real twin flame in there. You're gonna know and they're going to do. But that's not about knowing. You're gonna be practicing the knowing. That's what this connection will be more powerful. Because you're not just talk. That's only energies. You are achieving things together. All right. Darling, you want to say take the second one from Blue?
Now let's read the question.
Oh, you want me to read it? I'll read it. All right. Blue. How many ties are enough to let go and let divine to guide when I don't say any, when I don't see any signs from divine? I am mentally and emotionally exhausted from my journey, became unhealthy. What to trust? Even why even union?
Okay, I can try to maybe comment on that. It's just there are maybe two reasons why you don't feel this connection is either you lost this connection because you lost the balance maybe in some, maybe you don't practice enough, like you don't get enough connection with your inner self, that's why you cannot get, are not getting tapped into this, or you've done your work and they are giving you a little bit of freedom, because what we also realized that at some point with this connection, it was kind of like a silent, like there was no guidance whatsoever, no messages. We were left out, and we kind of understood that once you reach certain level of awareness, you're not gonna be guided as a kid, by hand. You're getting responsibility. If you're ready for that, you will get access to energies, and you will see this kind of a freedom that's given to you. But it's after you reach certain level of trust, like you show the trust to the universe and to the energies in general, and then the trust is given back to you, so you're getting more freedom. So sometimes it's just also to for you to test yourself, aren't you too dependent on the guidance, like can you guide yourself, or do you need guidance all your life? Because I think that's what's supposed to teach us, those silent moments where you still have your own authority, you don't have to be guided as as a little kid. So sometimes I think it's good if to be in this state from time to time.
All right, let me put my views on about this. First of all, how many tries are enough till you get it? Until you get it, you may. It is what it is, but if it's not enough for you to get to the point, not to be codependent on the person and the connections and so on, you're gonna end up in a codependency issues within yourself. There's gonna be a trigger of this codependency in there. Only them, only them, only them. Then you're gonna get this. To one point, it's like learning red flags. You're learning psychology and so on and so on. Now, why you don't see a sign from the divine? You have to look at it at this point. Divine is coming in to teach you. Then the divine is disappear when you've been tested. And when we're talking about when you've been tested, the teacher is silent during a test. During what are you gonna do? Eyes gonna be on there. And then you're gonna be scratching your head. It's like, man, I don't need any more guidance. I gotta perform in here. Oh yeah, you really do. But what can I do? You do it and do it. Well, what can I do? Well, you do it then. uh, you just do it and do it until the job gets done. So how many connections is not enough till we get the job done? Here, now, and so on. Now, if you are emotionally or mentally exhausted in there from within, and if that becomes unhealthy, suggesting you to find a counsel in there, someone to help you. Look, okay. Maybe you can talk to a psychologist. Hopefully, you don't tell them the words twin flame because let me tell you, psychologists, as soon as they hear the word twin flame, is they're like going
Actually,
away.
my psychologist I went to, she was a twin flame too. Just got connected to the right person, and she was in a separation too. So
I
we had a
said
nice chat.
so. I said so. Okay. Or you can reach out to the community for it. I don't want to make too much commercial. You can reach out to us as well if you need some help in there. And you don't know what to trust. The only thing you need to trust, that is your soul. Trust that from within you. And this is how you're gonna mature within yourself. Somebody asked me, Dio, what kind of advice you can give it to me? And I wrote something and I did a video back in the days about this. The best advice anyone can give it to you is to trust your own soul. There is no better advice than that. Okay, Natty. Nice, beautiful, and smart. What a wonderful girl, Paulina. And you, of course, is a treasure. I wish you both everlasting love.
Thank you, Nati.
Thank you, Natty.
It's very kind. Yeah.
Rilka, there was a message, there was a questions in there, but it was retracted. Okay. Blue. I'm done with waiting. Given opportunities to communicate, I have my own journey to begin who I wanted to be, stepping out of the twin flame, to be an observer, learning what is love peaceful. Ah, ah, ah. Good. I like what you wrote. Uh-huh. Good. That's all I can say. Good. You're on the right track. Becoming an
Also,
observer.
one comment on that. It's not stepping out of, like, you will be in the journey. It's, and it's not about forgetting the previous connections either, because I was kind of trying to do that, but all I was feeling was guilt and this sense like I'm cheating something, someone, cheating the divine, whatever, that I'm not acting fair. So I just stepped back and I was like, of course, like, you cannot deny the previous connections. You have to accept them. Maybe it's even harder task than just rejecting them, because you cannot erase them. You have to accept that it happened, and it's a part of your life, part of your journey. But just to remember that with love and peace, and that's sometimes it's more tricky, but this is necessary. So we are not stepping out. Just this continues.
You try to step out of the journey, the divine is just get back in there. You can't. It's just that's the way it is. But when you observer, let me tell you,
That's
when
good.
you become to observer, that is actually you observing. You're not judging. You're justifying. That is the path of growth in there. So that is a good point. Tatiana, hi to you both. When the feminine surrender and focus on himself, balance his energies. Yeah, it's a little tricky. Something when the DF. Okay, maybe the divine feminine is masculine, and that's this case. His energy is when the DM does his awakening. The channel probably you have this when a divine masculine surrender and focus on himself. Balance his energy is what when the DM does his awakening. Okay.
I think that's correct. Like, as a divine feminine, that's the energy of surrender that it has to, instead of chasing. Like, divine feminine energies are chasing ones, right? So it's correct.
Now I can get this. Um, when you begin to understand the divine surrender, the divine feminine energies, because when I was awakened, I got more divine feminine energies. But to me, I was so divine. Oh, I was so divine feminine that man. But that was the wounded side that I needed to learn the divine feminine energies. But that part of when you learn these divine feminine energies in there, and I did that surrendering. I begin to understand what divine feminine is, so I can correct the divine masculine. And when you get to that point of becoming divine masculine with yourself, you're gonna be know how to manage yourself, your new levels of understanding from within you. You begin to learn gentleman's things. You're gonna be know how to express yourself properly, even if you don't. You're learning new things for it, and then you're gonna understand the actions of the divine masculine. It's like, okay, I can understand that my counterpart have these situations, but I understand the full part of both energies, divine feminine and divine masculine. you have this bipolarity within yourself. But don't mix it with the bipolar personality disorder. All right? That's what you have to understand within yourself. There's two different things, but there is no other way you can express them because you have the both the feminine and the masculine energies inside of you. The one brings you the informations, so the other can be fixed. And then when you have the right masculine energy, you can now go ahead and help your divine feminine counterpart. Back to you, darling.
Yeah, I think that's correct. Like we have both parts in us to develop. It depends, some people like to define themselves as divine feminine if they are on this chasing, on chaser side, or divine masculine if they are running away from connections. But the whole point is you may be finding yourself in different connections, and you will play the chaser role, then the runner role, and the whole idea is here just to develop both sides with you. And once you're doing this, so you're taking care of yourself, which is more masculine side, and also still giving this love and patience and all this like feminine caring energies to yourself, at some point you may even have this experience as I had. It's kind of like a merging of energies, like two parts of you coming together. So I didn't understand at first what was that, but then, a few days after, it was shortly before our union, what you would call union, when we met, there was this very weird shift happened to me, and I didn't know what was that, but clearly that was just the preparation, just showing me, okay, now you've developed both parts, now you could unify that. So, and again, it's just this divine feminine, divine masculine. It will be, you just have to shift focus on your progress. You don't have your divine masculine somewhere out there, and once you start working on you, because you're divine feminine, your divine masculine will be back. All is just about your progress.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, this channel, sorry that is not correct with the words. Google translated a bit funny with the choices of words. That's okay. It's all good. Yeah, part of the you wrote that it's not rejections, it's redirections. I hope you guys get this. I hope you guys get it in there. There was this quote in there. God removes certain people from you because he heard something that you don't. And if you're taking the rejections hard, you need to understand that of every rejection, as you think, it's simply what that's mean is redirection.
There was
Natalia,
one more
hi. Yeah, go
from
ahead, darling.
Rilika, female DM and separation.
Did I miss something?
Can you Yeah. Okay, I can read that. Female DM in separation, several ego deaths, in awakening process with body energetic experiences, now neutral, in peace with divine feminine, just following divine guidance for next. Believe and trust. Yeah, actually, that's the only thing you have to do. And sometimes it takes patience because you may feel, okay, I've surrendered and nothing's going on. But just keep in mind that whatever has to adjust here at this like 3D plane, it takes time. So it may take month until start things will start appearing, but just you have to stay open and you will start things shifting.
Patience is a big thing you have to learn on this journey. Patience, patience, patience. And it all comes in with three words that I've been preaching over the years: trust, surrender, and let go. Trust, surrender, and let go. How it goes. Row, row, row your boat. Trust, surrender, let go. Maybe I can make a song someday about it. All right. Okay. Where was I? Really sorry I missed you. Um, Queen Master, hi. Thank you for coming in. Nati, Don't fax me. Oh yeah, that was about this statement. Don't pay, don't fax me, don't yeah, you get that. Natalia, the universe shows me a few days ago what it means when you are in total stillness. You can feel just love within you. It lasts one whole day. No, I'm resolving pretty fast the shown patterns in there. Yeah, the universe will show you, but you have to kind of like even if the universe shows you, there's gonna be at this moment it's like, okay, is that the universe shows me or it's my mind play the games? And there we have this things within ourselves that sometimes it's like the mind still operates with you, but it still wanna so on. You need to understand that the journey of the those energies, those visions of the divine, yeah, take like a day or two to process it. Don't right away go in there. And when you are in that stillness, as you explained, Natalia, that is in that stillness one of the things settle down and you can see for what it is. Is either come from these projections that your mind, the way you want things to be, or it's actually a guidance from the universe to tell you, let him go, let the things flow, trust within your journey, let me guide you, keep going on, don't worry about it. This thing is causing you too much trauma, too much problem. You need to understand if the journey causing you trauma, drama, and so on and so on, you may be not enough. You have to go look within yourself, okay? Because there should be no pain in this journey. At some point, you're learning that the pain is your driven, but within the pain is the healing. The more you go in and the more you heal, the more you understand, oh, I don't need anymore. I healed enough. I don't have to go and dig in the old wounds. There we go. In there. All right. Lorna, hi. My soul guided me to you both, and it was exactly what I needed. I'm forever grateful. You're welcome, Lorna.
Thank you, Lorna. Yeah, we shared a lot. I talk to Lorna very often, so we are sharing our experiences, and also we met in Florida and was amazing. Thank you.
I wanted more of this stillness after a long time of well thinking. Ah, you want me to tell you a little secret? What we call stillness? We are going to the grass. We have this stillness, this energy that sometimes you feel like you go in and lay down in the grass and it's sunny weather and the grass is beautiful and it's soft and you just relax in there and you feel like you need more energy like this. Doing this is actually the healing energy from the journey of the tiredness of the journey that you're getting in there.
But there's also
But
one more thing that happens because you just kind of set up a new template for yourself too, because you kind of realize this peace and this stillness, and there's nothing missing in there. Honestly, this kind of state of peace is priceless. So there is no other connection that can bring it to you. So you will be guarding this peace with anything that comes to you, and you will be filtering out anything that doesn't match. So at that moment, you won't be looking for any relationships because you will be afraid to lose it. You will not want to lose it. So, but again, universe will adjust and bring you whatever you have inside. So that's always good. That's a progress.
when the stillness is done and the grass is done, the universe is like, okay, get to work.
Mm.
And there, but yeah, dual thinking. Actually, during this process, you stop questioning, you stop having the doubts. You're mindful now, not doubtful one. The old version, the old situations within you is gonna be having doubts and that duality thinking. And if you're facing, there is no more duality thinking. You're only mindful. You become the observer that's justifying things, not the doubtful who's judging and choose a side. Here you're applying a spiritual wisdom to you. And yeah. Rilka, thank you. Thank you to you too, guys. All right. You're doing a good job in here. This. If there is no more questions, guys, you always know where to find us. If you need us, we're here. And come to Spain. That's all I can say. Come to Spain. All right. Let's share the love and the light. If there is no more questions, guys, I want to say thank you to. I cannot recognize the person who got the questions in there because this is a anonymous post that it was in there. But I want to say thank you and recognize for that. Those are very powerful questions that we discussed here. And I want to say thank you for help, darling.
You're welcome. I hope it clarified a little bit of those twin flame, false twin flames, and how you say bliss flame. I love that. Actually, yeah, we should start calling it bliss flame. That's your real twin. Real twin.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing, everyone, for also for questions and just to share your sharing your stories because it's always useful.
Okay, guys. That shares the love and the light, and we'll catch you soon.
See you next time.
And here's some gifts for you. Take as much as you need it.